Ladies and gentlemen, it's Titoclock. So please welcome your host, James Deacon.
It's Titoclock. Woohoo! The weekend is here. What's up, Titoclockers? It's me, Tita James. Right behind me there is Tita X. And there is Nephew Rocket somewhere floating around. We got the gang tuned in behind. We got all those behind the scenes, X, Y, and Z. Well, X is here, Y and Z are out there. And we've also got Chris on standby. And let's go and check the comments to see who's tuned in right now. Oh, no, don't tell me. Did Mayan miss her spot? Ay, naku. This could be a first. Mayan could have missed her spot here. But saying big hi to Sheila, Damayan, Leanne, Lorenzana Panchalita, Annie Grace Ram, Meng Malcampo, Jed Santero, Eduardo Lim, Ramil Anyon, Jed. Oh man, so many, they're moving so fast. Okay, Eileen Elo, Bojo Soriano, Ray Eliol, Alfredo Villanueva Jr., Tintin, Ariel Beltran, and everyone else that's tuned in all around this. Well, I was going to say all around this archipelago, but you know what? It's the interweb. So that means you can be tuned in anywhere. We do always get people tuned in from everywhere. We get people tuned in from a lot of places like the Middle East. We have a lot of Tita Clockers there, around Asia, Australia, as well. So if you're out there and you're from another country, especially, pop us a message in the comments box. Tell us where you're watching it from. We'd love to hear from you. Gives us a nice geographical feel. And even though you're not from another country or you're not in another country, just pop in, like Jello said, Pasig City. So way to go. We want to see where you're from. It just, gives us an idea. We can sort of put it into a little map in our heads. And I don't know, just helps. So, okay, Tita Clockers, welcome to the show again. We have a very big one lined up, of course, as we always do. But what we're going to do is we're going to mix it up with a bit of a Ask Me Anything, a bit of a Q&A. Haven't done that for super long now. I realized the last time we did that was definitely last year. And I don't even remember how close to the end of last year. So it's about you, I guess. Huh? Oh, music. Okay. Yeah, so it's definitely it's due. So if you want to ask a question, just pop your questions in, and then Y will go. Y, isn't that funny? Y's name is Y is in charge of the questions. No pun intended. Get it? Y question Y. Anyway, X is not laughing, so it can't be that funny. But yes, Y will be watching all the questions. He'll be posting them up, and then we'll try and answer it for you. I'll be as honest as I can with you. How about that? But for the meantime, we will kick things off as we often do, because it's been a very big day for news today. And we all know that COVID cases are soaring. I mean, we've got, I think, the highest on record at 7,000 plus today. So let's check in with Chris and see what she's got in the latest in headlines. Chris.
Yes, hello, Tita James. Good afternoon and happy St. Patrick's Friday, inmates. The weekend is upon us, but first, here are today's headlines. The National Task Force Against COVID-19 revised its rules on suspension of entry into the country today. Now, all Filipino citizens are allowed to return to the Philippines. Amid a steady upward trend in new coronavirus infections nationwide, the National Task Force issued on Tuesday the memorandum circular that non-overseas Filipino workers will be temporarily barred from entering the country. Entry of most foreigners will be suspended from March 22 to 11:59 p.m. of April 21st. Exempted from the ban are diplomats, foreigners involved in medical repatriation, foreign seafarers under the Green Lanes program, foreign spouses, and children of Filipino citizens traveling with them. Vaccine czar Carlito Galvez Jr. earlier announced that incoming international flights would be allowed to carry only up to 1,500 passengers per day in a bid to control the new surge in infections in the country. The government is planning to impose a circuit breaker similar to those in other countries where strict lockdowns are carried out for a limited time. The Philippines has secured 20 million doses of Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine in a tripartite deal with the United States biotech company and the private sector. The Philippine government, represented by vaccine czar Carlito Galvez Jr., and the private sector, represented by International Container Terminal Services Incorporated Chairman Enrique Razon, signed a deal on Thursday to procure the vaccine. Under the agreement, the government will be getting 13 million doses of the vaccine, while the private sector would receive the remaining 7 million doses, which it will use for its frontline workers. Philippine Ambassador to the U.S. Jose Manuel Romualdez previously indicated that some 20 million doses of Moderna's jab would arrive by the end of May or early June. Moderna, to be taken in 2 doses, has reported a 94% efficacy rate. The Philippines is targeting to secure enough vaccine doses from different manufacturers to cover 7 million of its 108 million population to achieve herd immunity. Filipino table tennis bets continue to chase their Olympic dreams in the Asian qualifiers, which started on Thursday at the Ali bin Hamad Al Attiyah Arena in Doha, Qatar. Paddlers in the Asian Olympic qualification tournament are grouped according to their continental zones and face their bracket opponents to qualify for the next round. Jan Naire opened the Philippines campaign on Thursday, but he lost to Pang Yo and Cohen of Singapore. John Russell Misal also lost his first match with Clarence Chu of Singapore. Misal recovered in his next bout as he won against Indonesia's Dipash Bagwani. In the women's side, Rose Jean Fadol and Jana Romero faced off early in their first matches. Romero prevailed against the more experienced Fadol as they went into 7 sets. Romero failed to sustain her momentum after being swept by Orawan Paranang of Thailand. Fadol rebounded after sweeping Indonesia's Siti Amina. Meanwhile, Fadol and Naire booted out early in the mixed doubles play. The world's first Super Nintendo World and its life-sized Mushroom Kingdom opened on Thursday at Universal Studios Japan in Osaka. Many wore the iconic red Mario hat, while others were decked head to toe in Nintendo memorabilia. Attendees are allowed to interact with the characters, but they can't touch them. COVID-19 protocols at Universal Studios Japan include temperature checks at the entrance, mandatory mask wearing, hand sanitizer everywhere, social distancing in line, and signs in front of roller coasters asking riders to refrain from screaming. Capacity is limited to 10,000 people per day, or about half of pre-COVID visitors, according to park officials. The entire Super Nintendo World is an immersive game in which guests can compete against other gamers in the park, in addition to conventional rides. Super Nintendo World costs about $500 million to construct and more than 6 years to develop. Mario creator Shigeru Miyamoto said at the opening ceremony he hopes the whole world can visit the park when the pandemic is over. That's all for today's headlines. Now let's take a look at the inbox with Tita James.
What we got there? What we got there, Chris?
All right. The first one we have is the Counterflow video. It's about 3.5 to almost 4 minutes. Let's
Okay.
just see.
Let's see. Maybe we can do a short version of it.
You might want to take a breath.
Oh no, I didn't see this yet. Ay nako, but I can already feel it. Ay nako, the balehibos in the back of my neck are starting to stand.
Mm-hmm.
Ay nako, what's going on here? So what's with Kuya? What's the
So
narrate this
si Kuya is drunk and siya yung nasa mali. So he's the one counterflowing
Kuya,
and
nasa
he
mali na. Okay, and siya panggalit, in other words.
siya pa ang galit and he's drunk and the driver is already telling him that no, that's not the correct way and why are you angry and you're drunk. So
then,
the drunk Kuya is making pakisuyo to move the van. This is a van that the guy taking the video is driving. So later on, we see another shot. Ayan. Kasi daw residence daw siya ng ng Makati. Resident daw siya ng Makati. Si Kuya. Si drunk Kuya.
Why you can even your resident Makati? You can do anything naman you want. Kung naman this guy, this kapal naman, no? Sana naman Resident ka ng
Ayun.
Makati.
So,
It's like having
medyo mahaba
hazard.
yung video eh. Pero
Oh,
later on, the
oh,
van gives way. Kaso, when this Star Rex moves, yun. So, when he moves forward, binangga pa niya yung van.
oh, come on.
And may
Parang,
nadamay na isa pang sedan. I forget
oh, I
kung
didn't.
anong kotse
Can
yun.
you fast forward to that? I know we normally spend this much time on it, but this I gotta see. This I
Yeah.
gotta see. I haven't even seen this one yet. Um, so some obviously, I.
There we go.
Wow, si Kuya. Oh my God. How did you miss posting this, X? Oh my gosh. I'm in shock, because this is becoming so normal already, It's actually
Yes.
something that this GTA type of thing that they talk about. It's becoming more and more normal. I remember the first time it happened before a long time ago, and everyone's so shocked now. And then everyone's just like, public apology, and that breaks my heart. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We'll send that straight. Well, I'm sure they'll probably see it, but we'll send it straight to the LTO anyway and see what happens.
Yes. The driver ran away. That's the end of the video. The driver ran
Yeah,
away.
you know what? Kuya
That's the
was
case.
obviously so drunk he forgot he was starring in somebody else's viral video for how long? Face,
Yes.
his mask, pull his mask down a little bit, put his mask over
Mhm.
his eyes. We saw his plate numbers, so you can run all
Yeah.
you like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next.
Okay. Up next is the question: is this legal? Uh, there we go. So they're selling this old police. What's
No.
this? Van?
Yeah. You're not. Yeah.
So red
It's not.
plate.
No, you've got to deregister it, take out the red plate, all the markings from it, and then even that has to be through government disposal. It doesn't look legit to me, if you ask me.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't look legit. It doesn't at all. I would stay a million miles away from that if I were you. I mean, I don't know what benefit of the doubt that they know something I don't know. But if I was a buyer, it's buyer beware, because I don't believe that you can sell an emergency vehicle without decommissioning it first. But what would I know, right? Next.
Yeah. Okay, that was a public service announcement brought to you by Tito James. Next up is the Camote Plantation.
Okay, I know this one. I posted this one. Somebody was asking, Ran Morelada said, "Hi, sir. What happened to your post earlier about those riders who use the MRT stations as a shed?" This is it. Nothing happened to it. It's still there. Although it's not my video, so I shared it. So if sometimes if the original poster deletes the post, then obviously it deletes from everyone's. But anyway, it's still up, and it still has caused a lot of anger among people. But what I wanted to share that was a little weird, but is actually more common than you think. I cannot stand it when you post something like this and then you get somebody defending them. I mean, like a
Mhm.
seemingly intelligent person defending them. I'm not talking about another rider getting angry and emotional and saying, well, that you can kind of, wrong as they are, you can understand where they're coming from because it's emotional and there might be a rider feeling picked on. But I'm talking about car drivers, like car motorists in cars that are saying that show a little compassion, naman. You got to differentiate that. Compassion is one thing, but why have laws in the first place if we could just concede to compassion every time they're broken? Do you see
Yes.
how that slippery slope, no matter how you felt about it, I know where the poster is coming from. I know where the motorist is coming from. They're feeling sorry for mahirap ang buhay, and they're right. I get it. Being a Lala Move or any kind of delivery rider out there right now is tough. It is tough.
Yes.
Nobody's saying it's not tough, and nobody's saying to not have compassion. But there are
That's
road
true.
rules, and you have to follow them because it might be compassionate to that person if you think like that. But if you apply the same logic, well, what happens if
Mhm.
there's a motorist down the road trying to get to hospital or get to work and gets fired from their job because they're late because of these camotes? Where's the
Yeah.
compassion for them? That's why we have universal or one law to fit everybody in society. So don't cloud it with kawawa naman naghahanap buhay. That should never enter the equation. The law is the law. Because once you
Mhm.
start entering stories into it and personal feelings into it, you'll never end. It'll just become one giant melting pot of our feelings, and who can just that's not how it works. Anyway,
I
I do,
agree.
I feel as a human, I feel for the guys who have to do this, but it's not about my feelings. It's about what we agree on as the rule of law in the land. That's it. Simple as
Yeah.
that. It's not even whether I disagree with the law, it's still the law. So that's it. It's as simple as that. And I wanted to just add one last thing before we move on to the next. I ride a
Mm-hmm.
motorcycle too, right? I ride a motorcycle and a bicycle. So I get caught in this as well. I'm also a motorist. I also drive a car. But the point is here, you can't, a lot of people saying, and then kawawan man kasi umuulan and all that. Yes, I know. But when it's sunny, they have a huge advantage over motorists. Do they share
Yes.
that advantage? No. They don't have to. They choose to ride the bike because they can get through traffic faster. But the downside of
Mm-hmm.
that is when it rains, they have to pause. Well, you can't
Mm-hmm.
have it both ways. Nobody can. We are now if you're in your car and you're secure from the rain, you get stuck in traffic. Pros, cons. You
Mm-hmm.
choose your ride, choose your poison, choose your weapon, and stick to it.
Yeah.
You don't just go, oh no, well now it's raining, I'm gonna block everyone else. I think you got
Yes,
the point. I'll stop the rant
I
right
do.
here. Music too loud?
Discipline, everybody. Discipline, please. All
Mm,
right. Up next, we have the panda does trick.
I know this
It's
one.
not a literal panda.
Yeah,
It's
but
food panda.
Food
And
Panda is now delivering
yes,
camotes.
I saw this earlier. I
Yeah,
saw this earlier too.
camotes now on the menu. Thank you, sir.
Ah, kuya.
Kuya.
Cool ka
You know,
sana. Kaso, hindi.
you know what? If Kuya did this in the Luneta grandstand on a day where it was closed, and we would all be cheering Kuya, going, "Ang galing mo,
Yes,
Kuya! Way to go, Kuya! Yes, all right,
yes.
woohoo!" But not on public roads,
Not,
Kuya.
not
Not in
there.
your uniform either, bro. Come
I
on, man.
know.
You're killing your company there. That's
True,
the
that's true.
yeah, man. I mean, talk about swapang and look at that. I personally
Nag-e-enjoy
don't.
ka sana, kuya. But
Yeah, I
no.
personally don't hold the company responsible, but that's not how everyone feels. It'll cost the reputation a little bit of the company, all that, just for a stupid act like
Yes,
this. All right.
yes, yes.
Mm, mm,
Kuya, wag mo na ulitin yun, please.
wow, please.
Wag na, please. All right. Last one is the perfect parking photo.
Oh, this is
Let's
awesome.
see it.
This is absolutely awesome. I'm gonna get this person to pack my bags when we're allowed to travel again. This guy, this person knows how to make the most of space. Galing mo,
Yes.
kuya. If you've ever watched Russ Swift, this is probably his car. Russ
Ay,
Swift is
nako.
the world's best stunt driver. He used to perform here every year at the Manila International
Ay.
Auto Show, and even he would be impressed by this, I'm sure.
Baka siya yan.
Oo nga eh,
Maybe that's
well, that's
him.
awesome,
We don't know.
Chris. Thanks so much for that.
Yes.
And just before you go,
Mhm.
um, just wanted to say that Chris has been with us for how long now, Chris? What you remember when you started?
I think that was September last year.
September last year. So it's now March. That's like 6 months, right? So that's officially
I
off
think so.
probation. Chris is off probation, everybody. Woohoo!
Yay!
All right. And you know what? What's cool about that is, Chris, we will now officially give you your own handle. So we are going to be including your Instagram name there at the bottom of the screen. And every
Wow!
time Chris does her broadcast, you know where it's coming from. It's there you go. So if you need a voiceover, if you're looking for some class for your little whatever you might be recording, you might want to pop Chris a message. And yeah. So thanks, Chris, for everything. And we'll
Thank you,
see you next
Tita
week.
James. Yes,
You're
see you next
welcome,
week,
Chris.
Tita James. Have a
All right,
wonderful
but
weekend, everybody. Stay safe,
all
stay
right,
healthy, don't be camotes, and stay hydrated. Thank
all
you,
right.
everyone. See you again next.
Bye, Chris. Oh, I forgot to mention to her that part of the contract or the agreement is that she has to only give good news, even if she has to make it up. I'm just kidding, of course. I'm kidding. All right, thanks, Chris, with the latest in headlines. And yes, also, if you have any voice work that you want done, hey, pop her a message. You've heard her voice. She sounds awesome. She's been with us for 6 months and does an awesome job as well. So, you know what? We like to spread that love around and the opportunities as well. So That's Chris's handle there on Instagram. Next up, we have, as we always do on a Friday, and today we really need it more than ever because it's not so bad, but it has been raining on and off all day. So it's kind of a soggy, wet Friday afternoon with full of bad news like high COVID cases and all that kind of jazz. Oh, she's regular now. She'll be regular. I mean, it's not like a full-time thing, but yes, we've already, we have no plans of changing Chris. Don't worry. And so back to Fridays, the best way to perk up your Friday is by helping local businesses out with their advertising needs. We call this Free Plug Friday, and for that we need X. X, what you got in the box there, X?
Hi, Tito James. We actually have a lot in store once again. But before we go there, I just want to say hi to all the Titoclockers. Welcome to another edition of Free Plug Friday. Woo-hoo! All right, feast your eyes on the screen. All right, first we got El Comisario. So El Comisario offers a virtual pop-up concept that features a unique type of food every single week. Isn't that awesome? So for this week, Tito James, they sent over their specialties, which are 2 kinds of hummus, one smoked and roasted eggplant, dry-aged steak, special chicken, and double beef. How did you find it, Tito James?
Didn't get to try the hummus, but or the dips for some reason, but I got the double beef thing.
How is it?
It was really good. I just mixed it with rice, just had it with black rice, and it had that very, it was really nice, Middle Eastern type of flavor in it. Yeah. The pork was also good, and the chicken was exceptional.
Wow.
And the chicken, it didn't taste, is it supposed to be Middle Eastern or not? No, because it didn't really taste it. Like there was coriander. I mixed the coriander with it. I had fresh coriander. Awesome. I would bite into that with the chicken, and it was just felt very Asian. But then the other side felt very Middle Eastern, and then the pork had its own type of flavor. So yeah, you're pretty much going around the world with those guys.
Awesome. I tried on my part. I tried the hummus, and it was pretty interesting because I've never tried anything that's like roasted eggplant. I've never tried a roasted eggplant hummus before. So what's cool about this, guys, is every week they release a different kind of menu that's good up to 4 people. So prices differ depending on the special for the week. Anyway, guys, hoping you check them out. El Comisario on Facebook and Instagram. Next, we go to Kowloon Corner. So is there anyone out there who are into nuts and other snacks? Because Kowloon Corner offers different varieties or flavors of nuts and green peas. So, Tito James, if you could check this out, they have interesting flavors like the sriracha, wasabi green peas, and nori wasabi peanuts. They even have juices. You know this.
I tried the juices, but I'm gonna try one right now.
You're popping one right now. What flavor is that, Tito James?
Right. This is a spicy one.
Ooh.
Ooh. What do you got? Big chilies in there.
Is it spicy?
It's real chili. Are you kidding me?
It.
That's spicy.
Oh my gosh. It's too
I love it. But it's really spicy.
I regret taking this right now while we're recording Free Plug Friday. But it's actually addicting and it's actually good. And guys, for people who find it too spicy, you can always down it together with their beverages because they have like the grape, mango juice, orange juice. But I personally like the tea in a can. It's like milk tea in a can. So guys, price starts at 75 pesos for a can of peanuts, which is what Tito James is having now, which is hot. But there are other flavors too that are not spicy. Woo! Wow. Okay, guys. That's 65 pesos per can of green peas. Hope you can check them out on Facebook, Shopee, and Instagram. Kowloon Corner. All right. Now let's head for some dessert, Tito James.
I need one after that.
We both need one after this. All right, Sugar Mama PH is actually brought about by the pandemic, and the owner has mentioned that because of this business has helped to relieve her anxiety, which is actually like very good. Maybe it's because it's very therapeutic. What do you think, Tito James?
Baking is an excellent way to reduce anxiety or relieve it, because it can be such a fulfilling exact science. You know, if you don't give your attention to baking, it's gonna make palpak. Like food, you can get away with a lot. Like if you're cooking stir fries and stuff like that. But baking is its own thing.
It's really
so it's very
precise.
rewarding. Exactly, because at least you feel the process. If you've been faithful to the process, and then people appreciate it, I can see why it would reduce anxiety. Well, I'm here to tell you, I tried the cheesecake and I finished it. the whole
That's
can,
true. That's
solo.
true. And I
Did
thought
not
you were
share.
on a diet, Tito James.
I was, and that's saying a lot because I broke the diet just for that.
Exactly, guys. The best sellers that they sent over are the tablea cheesecake and the butter cookies. And it is true, Tito James is not lying. I love the tablea cheesecake because it had like really good texture. It was melt in your mouth, and the butter cookies were perfect because you can always pair it up with coffee. So, guys, hope you can check them out. Sugar Mama PH on Facebook and Instagram. Next, we go to Real Nature Pet Food PH for paw parents out there who have fur babies that suffer from health issues such as allergies, shedding, and foul odor. Real Nature Pet Food by Real Power may be able to address that because it's made of premium ingredients that's formulated to address specific concerns or needs for your fur babies. So check this out, Tito James. Like the river duck flavor says it promotes zen and peace and relieves anxiety.
Wow.
I've never seen anything like that before.
And what about for dogs that are KSP, like
Hey,
Rocket?
Take it easy.
Yeah,
Tito
who's
James.
always
Wait.
jumping in front of the
What
camera.
do you mean?
He's always trying to steal the show.
Well,
Always wants to do the raffles in the end.
Oh,
Always is
wait.
photo bombing my photos when
Oh,
I'm eating.
wait.
I'm gonna try and photo bomb his photos while he's eating this.
Wow,
Wow, I
Well,
just went
that-
off on a tangent there,
that
but
was-
there's a lot of built up.
that happened
Yeah.
really fast. It's
Wow.
been like a year's. It's like you can say the
Pent up,
whole
yeah.
pent up.
Taking my stardom, taking my stage.
All right, Tito James, why don't we tell them something positive?
Positive. I got
Yes.
something positive. Raffle time! Right, this is
All right.
premium, super duper premium dog
Mhm,
food.
that's
So
true. That's true.
we understand that this is not the kind of stuff that, it's premium. That's
It's
all I can say.
premium.
It's premium,
Yes,
and you
yes,
have to pay a premium price because it does some premium things. So, in a way around that is to give it for free. Right?
That's true. What are we giving away, Tito James?
I don't know. Is it one or two bags are we giving away
We're
today?
giving away to two lucky for parents.
Too lucky for parents.
Two lucky for parents, and good news is whether you own a dog or a cat, Real Nature Pet Food
Okay,
has
now
some-
Rocket can't draw this one because there's a conflict of interest.
Why not?
He's a dog. He's probably
yeah,
gonna rig it.
You're right.
So,
So, what's gonna happen
Yeah,
now?
we'll figure that out down the track. What you need to do right now is
Is-
put your paw mark in the comments box.
And on the post that we made on Facebook, I hope you can check them out. Real Nature Pet Food PH on Facebook and Instagram. Last, we go to Bagoyan. So Bagoyan offers hand-woven masks by Ikalinga women. And what I love about this design is they can be customized as well. And it just speaks about a lot. And it just speaks of culture and a lot of heritage. What do you think about the design, Tito James?
I love the design. So native, so traditional. And you know what? Everyone's wearing the same type of masks. You may as well stand out, right?
That's true.
And then you're standing out, but you're making a statement too. That's at least my personal opinion. When you're wearing something that's native, local, people kind of can tell straight away, look, I think that looks like something homemade. That means it's probably supporting somebody. And that's great. It's win-win all around. So I love it. I love the look, I love the concept, and I love the advocacy.
Right, guys. Hope you can also support them. Price starts at 250 pesos per mask, but can go up depending on the design. Again, Bagoyan on Facebook and Instagram. Well, that's all we have for this week's edition of Free Black Friday. Stay safe and always sanitize, Titoclockers. This is X. Peace out. Happy weekend. Bye.
Woo! All right, that's Free Plug Friday, and that is just our little tiny small contribution to the local industry and trying to get people back on their feet. So if you have something that you would like featured on Free Plug Friday, it's pretty simple. All you got to do is send a message to us on IG, and that's the account that you want to send to. And from there, we'll take care of the rest. So obviously, it's first come, first serve. There are a few already in the system, but you never know unless you ask, right? So we do our best to accommodate everyone. We try our best to do maybe 6 or 7 in a Friday, and hopefully it's yours as well. So that's all you got to do. Akadoki, that is wow, we've been through quite a lot. It's already 5:32. We don't have time anymore. We do. Do we have time for an Ask Me Anything? Who we got? We'll do it like maybe, let's see, 10, 15 minutes or something at most, and then we'll move on to the live draw. The Ask Me Anything is brought to you by our good friends at Motolite Matagalan. These guys are have just joined on board, and we welcome them with open arms because, well, they're powering the show. Get it? Powering the show? More power. Power. Battery. Work with me here, guys. It's a Tito just trying to do some Tito jokes. Okay, Marvin, game. Good afternoon to everybody. All right, let's hit it. First question, super love it. I'll wait for White to put some questions up here. In the meantime, I think I see a lot of paws, a lot of dogs, and I gotta say, by the way, totally love the vibe of that thread of the dog food raffle because everybody's posting their little fur babies on there, right? Which is exactly what we asked. So, I'm happy about that. Just said, look, put a paw or put a picture of your fur baby in there. And it was just sobrang good vibes, to see all those fur babies and their proud parents there. Just so nice, especially on a gloomy Friday afternoon like today. Moraleta, sorry. Ran Moraleta, hi to the James, what do you recommend as a solution to some insects inside a car of an old car? Inside a car of an old car. Is that like a car inside a car? Did I read that right? Well, what I would do normally would be to probably it depends on where they're what kind of insects like mosquitoes and stuff. Yeah, that you want to make sure that nothing breeding right in there, because that if it's an old car that's been sitting, you might want to get that fumigated properly and especially the air conditioning system cleaned out. Right? They have these great little things called like clean back and stuff like that. Different types of brand names, but the idea is, don't we have one the one what's it called? Back to clean, and it's these things. They basically go through your whole air conditioning system. You've probably seen them done. It's like a fogging machine, and it's just antibacterial and stuff. But you have to make sure that you tell the person you're trying to control insects as well, because if it is mosquitoes, there's a possibility, of course, of dengue. If the car's been sitting for a while, there are places where the water can collect even small amounts, so that might be where they're breeding, and then they're just coming through your aircon vents. So I would go down that route just to be sure. Have it properly fumigated and use that aircon bacterial cleaner. You know what? I've got something here. You know what? I'll probably send you a message off the air if I can find it, because I think I have a cleaner that you can spray yourself in there that will do the same type of job. If I can find it, I'll send you a private message. If not, then just go for that back to clean solution where they're just going to run it through your aircon vents and kill anything that's in there, all the bacteria and all the insects as well. Randolph Villion, James, Navara versus D-Max versus Hilux. Ooh. X, are we allowed to talk about this yet? So, right? Because the officially, the Navara is not launched, right? So it's a bit tough to compare Randolph right now. I hope you understand, because of the embargo. I've already seen it. I've already driven it, but we do have a strict embargo, so I can't really share anything about the experience. But Sunday, you'll find out. How about that? That's the best way I can answer. Sunday, you'll be able to see the all-new Navara, or the new Navara we're going to show the launch live, and I'll share the video as well of my test drive of it. So that should be able to answer your question. Not a cop-out. We just kind of signed as everyone does. It's not just with us. I mean, anyone that it's how the business runs. So yeah, gotta respect the embargo for that. But then the D-Max was very interesting. So the D-Max has its own loyal following. So I think if you are a D-Max user, a D-Max customer, you're going to probably really enjoy the new D-Max. But if you're looking around and you're converting from the other side, and you're now going to, for the first time, get yourself a pickup, I would suggest to wait till after Sunday and just see your options, because it's going to blow up. There's 3 pickup launches this month, right? Imagine 3 different pickup launches have been launched in this month alone. So it goes to show how big the segment is growing. And this is in a pandemic where we're really suffering, right? So you can imagine. Aaron's asking if you can borrow Rocket. We have his rate card. Yeah, it's what's the hourly rate of Rocket again? I can't afford it. I just have to be nice to him and give him food. That's how I get him around. Yeah, but you know what? I tell you what you can do is you can visit us here, especially when the raffle. Rocket is always happy to meet Titoclock. Always. In fact, the problem is he gets the photo and I don't, right? They're like, Tito James, can we have a photo? And then I pose. They go, no, I meant, can you take our photo? Me and Rocket. Yeah, that's what it's become. Just there's no respect anymore. Totally kidding. Nicole, Siasom, do you support the spay neuter programs? Nicole, what a timely question. I almost forgot about this, and I shouldn't have because it's such a big deal. I do support it because I believe that, especially if we're talking about strays, it is the only humane way to deal with it, or the only compassionate way to deal with stray cats and dogs. But mostly, I know from the cat side of things because I just came from and Tito Clockers should know this, a couple of weeks of campaigning for the cats of BGC with RLC residences. A lot of you might remember this story, but I'll just run through it quickly so that anyone who's not on the page can still keep up. We basically set a campaign together, use the platform with some of the local community to be able to get attention or get the attention of RLC to not displace the cats. Now, I learned a lot from this whole campaign and program because I thought I was just helping out some local residents and stuff like that, which I was, but I learned that there is a humane, compassionate way of dealing with them, and that is the TNVR program. It's the Trap, Vaccinate, Neuter, and Release. Trap, Neuter, Vaccinate, Release. And this helps to contain the cat population because, one, keeps them disease-free, should I say, stops them from multiplying, and these cats will now police their own areas. So, yeah, if there are any other cat burglars coming in, they're the ones who will stop them. Not get it, but they basically, it's an organic way of dealing with it and very humane. And the big news I wanted to share with you is finally RLC, which is Robinson's Lands Corporation, who were the ones that we were, trying to get the attention of, finally agreed to work with the Paw Passion Project or the Caution Project. It's an animals' rights group, and you can read all of it on the page, by the way, because I'm kind of making a few mistakes with the details. But in essence, what happened was they did hear our call, and they did finally do something about it. And I think they should be commended for it because anytime anyone like that can see the error of their ways and then make an adjustment, salute to you. You know what? RLC, mabuhay kayo. I'm very, very impressed with how you handled it. It took a little while, I guess, but once it got right to the right person, and once one of the top management saw the post and heard about it, they immediately worked with the right groups that we were suggesting, and now everybody's happy. Nobody's trying to destroy anyone's business. It's just we have to learn how to work together, and there are laws that protect our animals, and it's just a matter of following them because not everyone does. So sometimes it feels like you might be dealing with some, cat, like activists and stuff. No, they're just, they are, but they're basically just upholding the law that we put in place to protect these animals. That's it. They're not crazy people. They're just reminding you that we have laws. In the same way that if you wanted to chop down trees so that you can build a nice house, you're going to get serious problems. You can't just do that. You got to go to DENR and you got to get permits, and there's process around it. And the same goes for the stray cats. You just cannot build and kick them out. You got to figure out a way, and there are ways. So good on you, RLC. Good job. Good news, indeed. True. Very good news. Peter James, I have two questions. When to use premium and when to use unleaded for your car? Also, when to use fully synthetic than a regular semi-synthetic? Okay, RJ, great question. I would... Firstly, this is a great question because a lot of people get this wrong. And a lot of people have this misconception that I'm going to put premium fuel in my car because I love my car and I want to take care of it. It doesn't help your car if your car is not rated for that premium fuel, okay? Assuming, of course, you're buying from a good, reputable, international standard company like Petron or something like that, right? If you're buying from Petron, you don't have to worry about like dirty fuel. So we can take that off the table. So now we're really comparing what I read your question to be is you're comparing premium fuel as the octane rating, 98, 99, 95, 93, 90, whatever, right? If your car is rated for 91 octane or 95, like the Vios, etc., just put that in. Because if you put 100 or 99 octane or Blaze in your car, it's going to run well, but not any better than it was designed to run. Does that make sense? It's only tuned to run at 95. And in the really entry-level cars, 91. But 95 is your regular gasoline, a regular unleaded type of non-premium. But if you put 100 in, you're just kind of wasting it. It's like when you overdose on vitamin C. You can only take so much and your body just passes the rest. You're not going to get more protected by taking quintuple doses of vitamin C. It's the same with your fuel. So understand that you're putting the right fuel for the right car. Look at your car's handbook, find out on the internet if you can't find your handbook, what is your fuel rated at, and then stick to that octane rating and only go to reputable gas stations to buy your fuel. Like the car. That's a shameless plug. But it's true. Really, don't mess around, especially if you love your car. Sometimes, because it's not even whether or not they are trying to cheat you. If it's, let's say, a non-reputable gas station, it's not necessarily that. It's just they may not have the ISO certification to make sure that they're storing the fuel properly, that it doesn't get contaminated by water and stuff like that. These are all the things where you go to a reputable company for, because they already have all that in place, and your consistency of the quality is going to be pretty much guaranteed. Can you recommend someone or anyone who sells and installs dashcam, preferably in Paco or Cavite? You mean like this? Is that what you mean? Huh? You can do this yourself, by the way. This is so easy, Hershey. If you win this later, all you gotta do is put the suction cup on your windscreen and plug this into your cigarette lighter, and you're ready to go. But having said that, I do see the value of having it professionally installed for two reasons. One is you hide the wires, okay, because you don't want to have dangling wires there. Now, if you know how to do that yourself, then you have no problem. If you don't, then you just bring it to any audio shop, right? Anything that has car stereos and stuff like that. Or you could even bring it to Blade Auto, that chain of car accessory stores. You can go there, and I know that most of the branches actually install for you as well. If you buy it from them, it's free. If you don't, I think it's $500, but they'll tie. You have to double check. It's been a while since I've done this. They'll tuck it in all behind your roof lining, etc. And they'll wire it in, and you can also ask them to wire it directly, so you don't use up your only cigarette lighter if that's only one lighter, 12 volt that you have in your car, and two, you run a consistent power supply. Some of these dash cams have parking features. I'm not sure about this one. But snapshot, wide angle, aperture, built-in battery. Okay, so yeah, some of these have parking features, and what happens is when you leave your car parked, it has a motion sensor. So if your car gets hit, it'll automatically record what happened, so that even if your camera's off, it will continue recording based on that motion sensor. So you want to have it hardwired. Another thing that you don't want to do is forget to plug it in, and this has happened to me. And this is why I'm such an advocate for it, because the first time I got a dash cam in my car a long time ago, I remember it very, very clearly. It was like I had just installed it myself, just like plug it into the cigarette lighter and suction cup. It works perfectly, except when my wife went to pick me up one night in an event, one of my drunken friends made a complete, utter, total fool of themselves and jumped on top of the hood of my car as it was pulling up the driveway. He was just drunk. Nobody got hurt or anything. He was just being an idiot, right? As some friends will. I wasn't really particularly angry, but I wasn't angry because I knew I had footage of it and I could, blackmail him for the rest of his life. Every party we go to, I'm going to show this to everybody, etc. And then I went to check the footage. It didn't have it. Why? Because my wife unplugged the dash cam to plug in her phone to charge it. And that's what I want to avoid, because it's only as good as it being consistent. You don't know when you're going to need it. So you have to have the power supply permanently on. To avoid that situation, I was heartbroken. I thought I owned it. I didn't have the evidence in the end. Okay, Maria, did you have your hand up for something? No, I think that's for the raffle. We might as well. I think we're getting close to the raffle time as well. So we'll see if we can take maybe one or two questions. One or two questions here. It's hard to find because there's so whatchamacallit. What gasoline do I put in my Vespa? just a regular Patron XCS. And somebody brought up a good point here. Bong, Avena. This is actually a very good point. Blaze 100, walang ethanol mixed in, great for old cars that are not ethanol ready, rubber hose, gaskets and stuff. This is true, but I think we're only at 5% so far, or maximum 10%. It's not that, but it's still something to consider, right? It's still something to consider. So yes, the ethanol does dry out the rubber hoses and gaskets a little prematurely. So it is something to consider as well. So thanks, Bong, for bringing that up. You do have a good point. All right, next up, just want to make sure that I get everyone's questions out. No. Jester was told to always unplug any USBs. No. Not sure. It's never heard of it. And, So yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of that, and I in my experience, Jester, absolutely not. Cars are built a little tougher than that, so I wouldn't worry about it. Okay, Tito, who is the one to be prioritized? A car who is going uphill or a motor who is going downhill? Prioritized in what way? Let's say if you are nag-aabang dun sa driveway or something like that. I'll have to take the question as that, right? And you're not overtaking, obviously, because there's no such thing. The one who has priority is the one who's allowed to overtake. just don't play that game of chicken, right? You make sure it's safe for both cars to get back in, and nobody has to do any kind of priority, right? That's why we have yellow lines and solid lines. But if it's, let's say, like this, out of courtesy, it's out of courtesy, you kind of give way to the car that's coming downhill, or the vehicle coming downhill, only because it is very hard for the vehicle that's going downhill to back up, right? They won't, aside from the engine strain and all that, especially during the manual, and they might have to, and how steep the hill is, they also can't see very clearly out the back because the angle of their car is they're looking at sky. So that's courtesy. I don't think it's an actual rule. It's more of a road courtesy that if you find yourself in that situation, then you give way to the car that's going to have a harder time adjusting. In this case, the one heading down. Okay. All right. What's your stand on the proposal, the reorientation? That was fake news, Frederick. So it doesn't. The proposal, he says. So that's not fake news. They are talking about it. I think it's, in theory, a very good idea. In theory, but just because in theory it's a good idea, in reality, it's not. I hate to say this because, it's something that we need, but I just know the reality of what's going to happen. And this is just going to clog up the system even more. I feel bad even just saying this out loud because I know we need it, but I don't know what's worse. What we need, and basically what the reality is of having to do this. If they cannot get stickers and plates, how are they going to process the millions of drivers? How are they going to do that? I just don't see it. So, I see another big disaster happening in the process. But again, just to answer your question properly, in theory, it's a good idea because we need it. But in reality, I think also, aside from the logistics involved, I hate to say it, but I can smell corruption starting to creep in there. Just like anything that you introduce, emission tests, you introduce anything new like that, the offenders and the violators find a way around it, while the people who are actually following the rules are the ones penalized and burdened with it. There you go. Well, yes, Silan, that's a good compromise. Siang said that if they have violations, then for sure, I think that's a good place to start. That's a nice compromise. Yeah, have you heard about the closure of Cagayan Tunnel? Yes, I posted something about that when the governor announced that. I think it is, well, it's only closure, if I'm not mistaken, it's only closure for tourism, right? I mean, it's not closed to traffic, I believe. It's just closed to tourism and photo taking and eating around there and all that. I believe If it's just that, then I'm 100% in support of it, because I have been trapped in that tunnel, or leading up to that tunnel. I've been trapped before. For some reason, people are just so, they lose their minds there. I don't even know why. It's a nice tunnel, but it's not. I don't get it. It's not worth blocking traffic for, but people do, and monkey see, monkey do. So what ends up happening is we've heard of horrendous jams there, kilometric jams that have occurred there, simply because of arrogant, selfish, entitled camotes that park there and put their banners up and stuff like that, and have no consideration for others. So it's another classic example of, this is why we can't have nice things, because we have to legislate around the most kapal person in the community. And these people just don't seem to learn. They just seem to just spoil it for everybody. So sadly, as much as, it was nice to take a picture there, that's the reality. Is we have to close it, or close it to tourism, because people just don't know how to behave. So when will people understand this? You'll never get nice things if you don't know how to behave. You have to learn how to behave. See, there you go. No tourism zone. But look at that. I mean, that's ridiculous. You can see on screen. What's with that? That's that. You can blame them. Okay. Whew. There you go. Almost have a little meltdown as well. Okay, that's it. We got 7 minutes left. No more meltdowns, no more rants. Hope I answered all your questions. It's now time for the main event. So for that, basically, we need. Woohoo! Rocket time! Rapid Let's go. What do you think, Rocket? 2 raffle windows. Okay, Rocket. I think. Okay, Fur Plug Friday. You ready, Rocket? Where is it? Petfood. What? Oh, really? From Pure Nature? Okay. We have late breaking news from Real Nature. All the proceeds, or part of the proceeds, will be going to the cat shelters. Cat shelters or dog shelters? Rescue and TNVR. So thank you guys from Real Nature. That is awesome. Thank you for supporting the TNVR program and the lesser fortunate for babies out there, because not everybody lives in a bubble like Rocket does, right? So Rocket in his little bubble is going to press the next button. Rocket, you're helping those less fortunate ones out there. Don't look so unenthused by it. He's gonna fall asleep in a second. Here we go. This is for the dash cam. Where's that ball? Rocket, you're so funny, you know that. Marlon Rivera, congratulations. Are you out there, Marlon? If you are, pop your hand up. Want to see ya. Want to see you, Marlon. Hopefully you're there. If you are, I want to see you. I want to see your name. Let me see. Because it's always really cool if the winner is right here with us. If not, we leave it up there. We'll put that also on stories as well. So check that. No, I don't see Marlon's name there, but he'll probably reach out in a second. They normally do. Okay, so that's pretty much all we have time for right now. Both raffles are officially drawn. And thanks for all the Ask Me Anything questions. Congratulations to all the winners. Thank you to all the Titoclockers who are always so awesome and spend every Friday, 5 p.m., 6 p.m. with us. It is just truly, truly amazing. It's J370 for this lockdown of some sort. And we just need each other to get by. So, huh? We'd like to thank, of course, Bridgestone for making the podcast possible. Titoclock could not be on air without our friends from Bridgestone, and also from our friends from Modalite, who have powered our Ask Me Anything. So on behalf of Rocket, myself, and X, Y, and Z, bye, everybody!
Fancy meeting you in my internet. Couldn't help but notice your smile, while everybody else around us is surfing about. Can we just stop and chat a while? Get away from these gray and boring, lonesome days of our quarantine. Early yet to say what lies ahead. It's just the first day of the rest of our lives. Love could be waiting at the end of this quarantine. Let's stop and talk